too many of these unstable fatty acids from seed oils. The second effect is the effect on hormones. Very, very important. Those seeds contain in them toxins against bugs, against different animals, and they're trying to protect themselves from digestion by other animals by making those unstable fatty acids, which end up inhibiting the digestion. So when you eat a lot of those seeds and seed oils, you block your digestion in your stomach, because the stomach has proteolytic enzymes that are designed to break down protein. If you eat a lot of those fats, you will not be able to digest your food, and that's good for the plant. The plant that makes the seed wants you to avoid digesting that seed too well, and then a few of the seeds will survive your digestive process and get out on the other side and end up growing nicely inside a pile of your poop, which is a great compost. I hope it doesn't disturb anybody during dinner. So this is the aspect of digestion that is being affected. But more importantly, proteolytic enzymes are found all over our body. They have many functions, and one of the important functions of proteolytic enzymes in the body is to create thyroid hormones that are active. A, creating them in the thyroid gland, B, transporting them to the cells, and C, making the receptors of the cells reactive to those hormones. The proteolytic enzymes that are inhibited, that stop functioning because of these unstable fats, rancid fats, are going to stop working, and we are going to become hypothyroid. This leads to a lot of hormonal dysfunctions. If you're hypothyroid, you start gaining weight, you become sluggish, your hair gets brittle, and your skin gets dry, you become constipated, and all of your cells lose their energy. And that's hypothyroidism. At the same time, thyroid hormone is necessary to convert cholesterol into hormones, especially the protective hormones like progesterone and pregnenolone. And people who have hypothyroidism have a risk of increasing their estrogen instead, so they become more estrogen dominant, and that makes a whole society more susceptible to breast cancer, uterine cancer, endometrial cancer, cervical cancer. So that is a bad aspect of these hormone changes, which also make younger girls reach puberty. And if you reach puberty sooner, that also increases your cancer risk for various reasons. So that is how our hormones are directly affected all over our body because of these polyunsaturates. And the other last aspect is the aspect of immune system. The immune system is going to be affected because some of the hormones are directly immune relevant, like DHEA from the adrenal glands is immediately related to that, and insulin is directly related also to fatty intake. So when our immune system is suffering, when it's damaged, we're going to feel it, especially when we take those rancid fats. And that's the reason why when doctors used to give patients in the hospitals blood transfusions or food intravenously, they used to give them emulsions of vegetable oils, but they found that especially with cancer patients, their cancers grew faster because the immune system was harmed. And since then they changed, and now they're using derivatives of coconut oils instead to give people intravenously. That's very interesting. They only use those vegetable oils in organ transplant patients, because those transplant patients need to have a suppression of their immune system to avoid rejection of those transplanted organs. So you see how those three aspects are extremely important, and that is what changed entirely the health of the population in the Western civilizations, that changed from coconut oil and moved and altered their diet completely into the polyunsaturated vegetable oils. So you should always try and avoid excess amount of those foods containing the polyunsaturated oils like corn, soy, and that's good because they are genetically modified anyway, and safflower, flax, cottonseed, canola, peanut, and sesame oil, especially in quantities, should be avoided. And things like mayonnaise and pastries and candies and many times salad dressings that are manufactured by the industry contain a lot of those oils. So you better start reading your labels and make your own dressings, make your own simple dressings. There are many nice recipes that you can make with olive oil and with avocados and lemon and so forth. So if those oils are so bad for us, why is nature making them? We need to understand, why is nature making those oils if they're so bad for humans? The answer is they're not made for humans. They're made for the life and livelihood of the seeds, the plants that manufacture those seeds, and the fish that contain them. Why are they necessary in the fish, especially in cold water fish? Because as we said earlier, those polyunsaturated fatty acids have more than one double bond, making them very, very crooked. So they stay liquid, even in cold water. And fish cannot afford to have saturated fats because they would end up so stiff if their fat became solid. They wouldn't be able to swim in the water. So fish that live in cold water must manufacture these polyunsaturated fatty acids. Lucky for them, as long as the fats are inside their very cold bodies and they are not warm-blooded like we are, as long as they are in cold water and have cold blood, their fatty acids are not going to be so quickly rancidified because there's no sufficient heat to make them rancid, not enough oxygen to make them rancid, and not enough air. And that is why the cold water fish can live with these types of fatty acid, and in fact they must have them to move in the water. The seeds is a different story. We already mentioned how they need protection from animals that would eat them. But at the same time, they benefit from these oils that remain liquid in cold temperature because they need to start germinating and using these oils for energy early in the spring so that they could come to seed by the end of summer and have seeds allow their species to survive throughout the winter. If you don't start early in the spring, the plant will not grow completely, flower, and form new seeds before the next winter, and the species will disappear. That is why we need those liquid oils, even in the cold spring, so that the seeds can start germinating early on. But later on, when the summer comes and the temperature gets higher, those oils are no longer in the seed because they were used up in germination, so the seed is not going to be damaged by them anymore. They won't go rancid. Plus, the seeds contain some vitamin E, which protects them from the rancidity effect. That is why when the same oils come into the human body, and the human body has so much heat on a regular basis because we are warm-blooded, and the oxygen, we simply end up rancidifying those oils very, very rapidly. So that